In 2004, the Geelong Region Local Learning and Employment Network, the LEN, and the Education Faculty of Deakin University partnered to develop and accredit a new pre-service secondary teacher training program, the Graduate Diploma of Education, Applied Learning, or GDAL.
The intention of the program was to increase the participation and engagement of young people in school by focusing on applied learning and preparing teachers who can use effective applied learning strategies.
Designed to respond to the 2000 Kirby report, the GDAL sought to equip teachers who could contribute to the Victorian education reform process by preparing teachers specialising in applied learning who can support new pathways for students.
I was in the first intake in 2005. There were 40 of us, and we were drawn from all different backgrounds, but we all shared the passion to make a difference in education.
By January 2005, the first 60 students had enrolled.
And I had come from a philanthropic organisation where we were working with really disadvantaged young men, and I was so concerned about how they had dropped out of the education system. I felt that the system itself must have been flawed to lose what I saw as wonderful young men full of potential.
The applied learning focus attracted career change students who wanted to take their life skills, work experience and applied subject understanding into the 21st century classroom.
And from the very first moments, I was mixing with mechanics, a woman mechanic, government people, a sculptor, an actress, a nurse.
I managed a local sporting club.
I actually worked as a youth worker the last 5 years.
Accountant by trade. Did 3-year commerce degree up in Melbourne.
I just finished a undergraduate degree at Deakin, majoring in journalism and animation.
These pre-service teachers also offered the capacity to bring students' learning outside their school walls into their employment and community pathways.
Deakin was particularly interested in setting up a program for teachers to learn applied learning because we'd recognised that to respond to the needs of young people, particularly in the later years of schooling, we needed a new approach to teaching that had respect for the fact that learning just doesn't happen in a classroom on its own, and that young people are more likely to learn if they move into other settings as well. And that means having a much broader conception of learning other than just learning in the classroom. So Deakin set up the Graduate Diploma of Education Applied Learning as a way of introducing teachers to the new concepts that they would need to learn to teach that way.
To date, over 500 GDAL students with a trade or professional background have taken up positions in a range of educational settings: mainstream secondary schools, Victorian Certificate of Applied Learning, vocational education and training, or adult and community education sectors.
I sort of had an idea of coming into it from a workplace training perspective, where there is a lot of applied learning involved. You're dealing with people at very different levels, some that didn't finish year 9, others that have university degrees, all kinds of cultural backgrounds, different levels of language skills or just basic comprehension in general. So that gave me a good sort of broad basis in being able to understand and relate to various people. I'm hoping that can be used in the applied learning setting in a school.
I teach a lot of dancing in my spare time and really enjoy building relationships with the students and sort of seeing their successes and their progress throughout the year that I teach them, or years, and thought that could carry over into a sort of meaningful and enjoyable career.
I've always had teaching as an idea, and it's something that I wanted to do, and then I kind of fell into the social work aspect, and I think that just kind of reaffirmed that belief that teaching is something not only I could do well, but it would always have a positive impact.
The GDAL Partnership Unit is a distinctive and unique opportunity for pre-service teachers.
They have to develop partnerships outside the classroom to support learning inside the classroom.
Focusing on the characteristics of successful school and industry partnerships, the unit requires the students to create a partnership project that will benefit a school, its students, and a key business or community partner.
It's very much about choosing something that is viable, that is wanted by both the school where you're currently working or to which you have an exposure, and a supporting partner that either is already involved or might desire and involvement.
It does require a set of skills and a way of approaching teaching that has respect for other environments of learning which are beyond schools, and for valuing the sort of learning, for example, that's in workplaces.
The LEN supports Deakin's GDAL students by identifying partnership opportunities and facilitating the supporting relationships.
Wonderful young women, migrant women, who from two different cultures, and they worked with Dandenong High School and created a partnership where they said to Dandenong High, we need to get the parents of migrant children more involved in the school. We know that's what you want to do. Give us the partnership project rights to create something. And the school was so supportive, and what they came up with was a wonderful day that was supported by the local council, the school, very much the parent body, but really run by the kids. And they ran a whole day of information and got mums culturally who wouldn't come out of the house normally. They're interacting with the kids, having their food the children had made them that was familiar to them, and being told or exposed by the council to all the different services that were out there to support them as they sought to integrate into Australian society.
GDAL students use the LEN partnership map of the regional educational environment as an example template and work collaboratively with LEN partners in establishing partnerships for the unit assessment task.
I've actually been working at the Surf Coast Shire for the last 6 months, so I have built up some very good connections and have a bit of an inside knowledge about what's going on in some areas in Torquay. One of the groups that I have allocated are doing some research on sport in Torquay and the facilities, the growth, and what each club in Torquay is experiencing. So through my work at the Shire, and specifically in the sport and rec area, I know some of the things that are being built and that they're implementing, that they've just launched a new touch football program, that they're running certain winter sport programs. So I've been able to help the group of boys from the middle years program.
I think that with technology growing and like everyone seems to know everyone, and that, you know, interconnectedness of social media and everything, I think people are realising more and more the benefits of collegiality and being able to work together on various tasks.
I've got business contacts in industry business, and also I've worked for public practice, so in Torquay. So I've got contacts in both areas, and I suppose business people, sounds silly, but business people attract business people. So you've got that in common as, I suppose, other trades. So you just gain contacts around town. I think if there is a program or if something's needed by the school from a certain business area, I'd like to think that I'll possibly have contacts that could help out.
Most schools in the region now employ at least one GDAL graduate, realising that the outcomes and benefits of the course and its partnership unit are many and varied.
I think it's brilliant to be able to bring animation into a classroom because they're all digital natives. They can pick things up, and it's the sort of knowledge that you can learn almost anything off a YouTube tutorial. So there's nothing standing in the way of them taking that knowledge in. They can go in their own time if there's an interest. They can feed that interest with as much information as they like.
As a result, many GDAL graduates have become leaders in their schools and educational settings.
We know from the really good, viable communities of grad dip students now that are in schools, how much the schools are starting to really value the skills that grad dip students bring into their school community through their applied learning understandings and their connections with industry and their ability to create partnerships and to lead partnerships within the school.